Okay, I want to turn the mic over to the woman who is the Protect Kaho'olawe Ohana organizer here on Oahu and the spokesperson for the Protect Kaho'olawe Friends, and that's none other than Puanani Burgess. Mahalo.
Ano ai me ke aloha e na hulu manu like ole. Translated, that means greetings to you, birds of many feathers, and that is what we all are gathered here. But we are bound together by the fact that we come from this place called Hawaii, by the fact that many of us have shared the experience on Kaho'olawe, by the fact that we are Hawaii and Hawaiians. We gather here today in memory of George Helm and Kimo Mitchell, but memories are so elusive, they're so transparent. But what we're doing with these memories is we're building a movement, not just for the protection of Kaho'olawe, but for the protection and preservation of all of Hawaii. I have a small story that I'd like to relate, to share with you about George. I have never met him in body, but in spirit I have. The first time I went to Kaho'olawe was in August 1980. And it had been a very spiritual and a very frightening experience for me. Like many people who go there for the very first time, you do not know what to expect, but you expect and you fear the worst. I had to swim in, about 100 yards to the Aina from the boat, and that was not a very comfortable experience for me. But I did it as an act of good faith to the island. Many things happened to me there, and perhaps this is not the time to relate them. After the trip, I had been emotionally exhausted as well as physically exhausted. And when I went home, I took a shower and I lay down, I turned the radio on, and I fell asleep. And it was a very deep sleep. And in the middle of the night, I sat up in bed, suddenly, and there was this voice sailing over the airwaves to me. And it was the voice of George Helm singing Kalena Kai. I have never heard George Helm sing before. And somewhere inside of me responded to this voice, and it was as though he reached his hand out to me. And in a small way, he provided me, or I think he led me onto the path that led me here today. As Emmett has told you, we're gearing up for battle now. We're gearing up for a large protest against the use of Kaho'olawe as a RIMPAC target, gearing up against the use of Kaho'olawe in the way that it has been used for the last 41 years. Hawaiians, before they begin battle, what do? They look to the source, Nana Ike Kumu. And so today, that's what we do here, and that's why we gather. We look to the source of what our movement was, where it began, and we look to George, but we also look to Huialaloa, who was, the parent organization for the Protect Kaho'olawe Ohana. And by looking inside of our movement, of the organization, what we do is we look inside of ourselves and begin to try and understand and bring together what it is about our commitment that makes us strong, that keeps us strong. We also gather here to prove and to show that grassroots people together can make a difference. That is a very important thing, grassroots people, because, a lot of times you have organizations, and a lot of people work through organizations and believe that, doing a systematic approach to things is just about the only way to accomplish any meaningful change, but that's patently false. And I think the Protect Kaho'olawe Ohana is a prime example of what people committed can do. It is the story of David and Goliath. Many people did not believe way back 5 years ago that Kaho'olawe could be put on something called the National Register of Historic Places. As an example of other sites, other places that are, historically important to the nation, the United States, places like the White House, places like the Iolani Palace. The entire island of Kaho'olawe is such a place. And that came about through the efforts and the lives and the sweat and the love of just people just like you and I. So, you know, when people say, or when you yourself say, hey, I can't do that, it's too hard, you know, it's impossible. I'm just one person. Remember, a movement is based on the commitment of one person, of each person. And once you build that movement within yourself, it becomes easy to find like people who also have that movement built within themselves. And that is what happened here. Kaho'olawe acted as a catalyst, not just for the movement to protect itself, that wonderful living place, but it acted as a catalyst for other struggles, as an example, as a beacon of hope. And so today is a celebration of that effort. It's a celebration of the efforts of man, of people. It's a celebration of today, of life. And we welcome you and are very glad that each and every one of you are here. So now I'd like to turn the mic back to Jackie and let us begin. Aloha.
Mahalo, Pua.